straight stun. You don't like the way I talk, say something.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not really, is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking you?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
for
say.
the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That
is the truth. A lot of what Tate says, us guys like to say, is locker room talk. I've said crazy things to my friends like this. My friends have said crazy things to me. Talking locker room talk, the message he portrays is just a message of locker room talk, and people don't like it. You're not going to like the stuff that your boyfriend, your husband, grandpa, your brother says in the locker room, the barber shop, when they're out to drink with their boys. You're not going to like the stuff that they say. And they say stuff like this. And he's just spitting out how he feels. Like, that's just his opinion. Do I believe everything that Tate says? Absolutely not. Bro, don't kill the messenger. I know how guys talk. I know guys talk and say crazier shit than what he says. If you don't think your man or you don't think your husband talks amongst his boys like this, you're crazy, because he does. You have no idea. He's never going to talk to you like that. He's not going to do it. It makes no sense. But they talk like that, bro. Oh, my man don't talk. Yes, he does. Your man talks like that. It might hurt. I'm telling you, it might hurt right now. I'm telling you this. And it is what it is.
Misogyny.
Why?
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
And to get to what he's saying, Piers, no, it's his just opinion. Like, that is his opinion. It's not a fact. And then when he probably means about 18, he means probably from 18 to 21, right? He's probably not saying from a specific 18. We got to stop being so dramatic. We're so dramatic when it comes to these things that people say in these clips online. Like, he's probably talking about a certain age limit from 18 to probably 21. They've been to less things than a 25, 26, 27, 28-year-old. How is that not the truth? That's the truth. Like, if I look at a girl and I see a younger girl, right? She just turned 21, and I see a girl that's probably 28. I know the 28 has been through a lot more BS than the 21-year-old. 100%. It's most likely 9 times out of 10. It's the truth. I could understand if it was misogynistic. He said he hates all women and women aren't desirable. No women is desirable. I guess. But he's saying one woman is more desirable than the other. Just like one man might be taller than the other. Just like one man might be more handsome than another. One guy might be fatter than the other guy. One guy might be skinnier than the other guy. It's a fact, bro. And some girls aren't desirable about those certain things. I don't understand why people are so bent out of shape about how one person feels about one man's comment about a woman being more desirable at 18 or 19, 21. It's crazy.
Even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
But what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny then, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm saying that women are beautiful and attractive at a certain age and saying the age.
You're saying 18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25.
Well, than ageist perhaps, but misogynistic absolutely
Is that
not.
but you just accepted it was misogyny.
No, I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
If a 26-year-old woman is watching this and has heard those comments,
Yeah.
would you just say to her, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that?
No, I won't. I will say that I am sorry that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
That doesn't mean you're sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. That's the point I'm making. I'm sorry if that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world that believe that, and I was.
He's right. There's a large percentage of people that believe that. They're just not gonna say it to you. Most guys are gonna tell you, no matter if you're big, small, skinny, super tall, whatever the case is, they're just gonna say, oh yeah, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. Even if the guy don't feel like that, 9 times out of 10 he's gonna say that just to make you feel good. But when he get back to his boys, right? When he get back to his homies and he go back to his boys and like, yo, how was it? You went on a date with Shorty, right? Yeah, it was cool. Like, boy, she ain't look nothing like her Instagram. She ain't look nothing like her Tinder. She ain't look nothing like her Bumble, whatever shit is. She ain't look nothing like that, bro. But when he's with you, oh, you're beautiful. Oh man, I had a great time. He's capping, bro. Most guys not gonna tell you how they really feel, and then when they ghost you, oh, what happened? He said, bro, he's not telling you the truth. It's the same concept as this. Most guys in that dating market, right, are gonna look for younger girls, right? They deal with less bullshit. It's math, bro. 1 + 1 is 2.
Getting for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about 26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a conversation.
They have to wear full burqas.
Well, that's a conversation.
They're not allowed to drive cars.
That's nothing to do with me.
But is that the kind of world for women that you?
I was mediating a conversation.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I don't live in a country where that happens.
You're using that as the excuse for why you're not sorry for saying it.
It's not an excuse.
Is that there are parts of the world where this is fine?
My friend.
So my question to you is, well, do you think it's fine?
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where
You don't think it's fine?
the reason
This isn't that hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what?
Well, how about you let him fucking talk, dude? Like, Pierce goes on and on and on and cuts him off. Like, what kind of interview is this dude doing? Let the man talk to get his point across.
With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share.
Now, why is he trying to put words in this man's mouth? If that's not how he feels, that's not how he feels, bro. You can't put words in someone else's mouth. You literally wrote down this whole paragraph of how he should say it. And then, like, look how he's looking at him. Like, no, like, what the fuck? I'm not saying that shit. He's not saying that because he don't feel that way. And you're trying to change the way he feels. You're not going to.
More if you said that.
Yeah.
Than if you try and say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think
That doesn't tell me what you think.
Then you need to understand why my content existed in the first place. My content existed because I tried my very hardest to be an absolute and utter realist, especially with uncomfortable truths. I was pointing out that very uncomfortable.
Is that a truth? Then?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm happy about.
An inquest this week found that a 14-year-old girl, Molly Russell, died from an act of self-harm while suffering from depression and the negative effects of online content. The coroner said she was exposed to material that may have influenced her in a negative way, and in addition, what started as depression had become a much more serious depressive illness, and she very sadly took her life.
Okay, clearly that's horrible, but what I'm confused about is why the hell did he decide to bring this up? We're talking about we're talking about a certain age of women, and this man derails this whole conversation. Something happened to a minor, which is awful. But why the hell are you derailing this conversation? A 14-year-old girl doing it, basically saying the 14-year-old girl deleted herself. What does it have to do with what Tate says? Nothing. That's nothing to do with it. I understand that kids are watching a lot of things on TikTok. They're watching things on Instagram. They're watching things on Facebook. They're watching things on YouTube. But to be 100% honest, that's the parents not being involved in their kids' lives. Your kid is consuming certain content that you know they shouldn't be, and you need to be on their ass, looking at their content, looking at their phones, or how better yet, don't give them a phone if you don't think that they're ready. When I have my child, I understand that there's things on these social media platforms, on the internet, that I'm not gonna let them engage in until a certain age. And if anything happens, that's my fault, because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't preparing my child for how evil the world is. The world ain't sunflowers and rainbows. It's not, right? You might want to think that is, but it's not the case, unfortunately. So parents out there, if you don't want your kid consuming certain content, either take their phones or be on their ass about it.
Her father's campaign for better protections against potentially dangerous social media algorithms, right? It says that the particularly graphic content she saw romanticized acts of self-harm, normalized her condition, and focused on a limited and irrational view without any counterbalance of normality. First of all, what is your response to that? Nothing to do with you.
That's the first thing. Yeah, it is nothing to do with me. The fact that
which I'm still confused on why the hell he brought this up. Like he said, this has nothing to do with you. Why bring it up?
Took her life is truly sad. The world we live in today is the world we live in. The fact that something like that happened is almost mind-blowing to me. That's truly sad. I actually feel sad inside to see something like that.
What has come clear to me in the interview is that a lot of things you say you wouldn't say now that you've said before.
But I'd say them differently, perhaps.
Yeah, right. So to me, that's an acceptance, not just that you want to get back on platforms, because maybe that was one of the reasons you were no platform, but that you've recognized and understood the potential harm to the wrong kind of impressionable mind by some of the things you've said. Would that be fair?
I think that's 80% fair. I recognize and understand that with massive fame, you have to be more careful about being misconstrued. Like I said earlier, 1% of people misunderstanding you doesn't matter with a small audience. It matters with a very large audience. With power comes responsibility. I still believe the things I say. I do not want to be a negative force for the world. I also understand that I am a man who's lived a very difficult, nuanced life, and I am capable of making nuanced points that may be misunderstood by teenagers. However, that can be said about anybody and everything. Every opinion online can be misunderstood by children. Trying to protect children from the internet is a very interesting subject in and of itself, because I would argue that 80% of the content on the internet can be negative or detrimental to a young mind that doesn't understand the world.
So wrapping that up, some of these questions were just completely BS. He was all over the place from what it looks like. But I mean, yeah, like I said, man, some of that stuff I was saying, the truth, man. It's the truth. Like, yo, man has locker room talk. He does. It's a harsh reality, but it's the reality, and it's just it's not as big of a deal as you may think. What he was saying about two different age women is really low hanging fruit. A lot of the stuff, like I said, I don't agree with, but hey, man, I'm just here to spread the message. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I love y'all. See y'all later.
Straight stun. You don't like the way I talk. Say something.